dominating performance for the Knicks over the Pacers. Mikal Bridges, one of 4 starters with at least 20. Karl-Anthony Towns also went over 20. He had 21 and 15 rebounds. Smiles all the way around as the Knicks bounce back after losing in Boston to open the season. They win their home opener 123-98. Great to have you with us, Bill Pito, along with a Wally Zerbiak. Monica McNutt here will join us momentarily. To put this into perspective, the fewest amount of points the Pacers scored all year last year was 99. A year ago, basically the same roster, they averaged 123 points per game. And tonight, after what happened in Boston, the Knicks hold the Pacers to 98 points. How'd they do it?
They were the best offense last year, you're correct, in the NBA, the Indiana Pacers. They did it with the personnel that the Knicks brought in, the front office, and Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns. We knew defense was going to be their calling card. They showed how good of a defensive team they can be. Tonight, they held this Pacer team, was a very good three-point shooting team, 3 for 30 from the three-point line after giving up an NBA record threes 3 nights ago against Boston. So this team made outstanding adjustments. This coaching staff made outstanding adjustments. Also shut down one of the stars in the league, Tyrese Halliburton, 0 points. Put up a donut, a goose egg here at MSG. That was some defense by those wings on Tyrese also.
All right, let us say hello to Monica McNutt. She helped call the game on the radio, ESPN New York. Monica, great to see you. What's your perspective from where you watched?
So the three-point line has been a huge factor in both games so far this season. Obviously, we know what happened in Boston, but tonight, as Wally said, to hold the Pacers to just 3 threes, 3 of 30 from the field, and of course for the Knicks to shoot 44% from the three-point line, that was huge. But I think for me, bear in mind, second game of the season, this team is still growing and getting to know one another. But I really like the way that they communicated, the way that they fought and played tough and hard together in the course of this ball game. And then, of course, all the good things happen on the offensive side of the ball. But tonight's defense is really what stood out to me.
All right, Monica, we're going to show some highlights of the Knicks defense. Specifically, what stood out to you in terms of what they may have done differently tonight?
Well, we heard Coach Tom Thibodeau talk about it. He talked about those second, third, and fourth efforts, right? Like, you got guys flying all over the place. That was a terrific play by OG Anunoby, timing that one up. Campaign sitting down on the ball handler, causing him to pick up his dribble. Jaylen Brunson standing in, and then this was a great play by Karl-Anthony Towns coming in on the help side. So I just thought there were a lot of second and third efforts. Guys scrambling around, creating havoc on the back end, Wally. And so to me, total team defense should finish with the defensive rebound. And in the third, the Knicks went on a run in terms of rebounding the basketball as well.
No question, Monica. The point of attack, one-on-one initial defense was outstanding. Every player took the challenge. They watched the film against Boston and said, we were too lax. We were lazy on the defensive end of the floor. We weren't the aggressors and the initiators in attacking our one-on-one matchup, especially defensively. And then if you happen to get beat, because the pressure was really high by the Knicks, the help on the back end was outstanding. Karl-Anthony Towns showed that he can protect the rim. He's an outstanding rebounder like he's been in his whole entire career. And Bridges and Towns, the 2 big acquisitions, boy, did they show out in front of their home fans for their first game here at MSG.
Now, while you mentioned the Pacers went 3 of 30 from downtown for the game, in the second half they didn't make a single three. On the other side, Monica, the Knicks, they blew it open in the second quarter, outscoring the Pacers 36-21, and one of the reasons for the success in the first half was their three-point shooting. First half, Knicks go 7 of 13 from downtown.
Pito, I love to say it, and Wally knows this, shooters shoot to get hot and shooters shoot to stay hot. And I think if you're going to talk about the Knicks three-point shooting tonight, you have to also talk about the ball movement and the way that they were able to attack early in the shot clock, right? Yes, there were times that the shot clock got down to 5 seconds or less, but overall I thought they did a really good job of hunting their shots and being aggressive and not settling. They dictated the pace of tonight's contest when you look at how many threes they were able to get up. And beyond that, the three-point shooting opened up the paint scoring as well. But we know Deuce McBride has never met a three-point shot that he doesn't like. And even for Josh Hart in particular, who only knocked down 1, I thought his willingness to take those shots, Wally, was huge, and then allowing him to get into the paint and cause havoc to this Pacers defense.
Yeah, Josh was outstanding, threw up a double-double, big double-double, 20 and 10. And how about the performance by Mikal Bridges? He was just outstanding in this. He struggled a little bit in the preseason, didn't shoot the ball well. But I think the Knicks are finally starting to figure out how to use him and utilize his game. He has so much more than just a 3-and-D three-point shooter and a great defender.
He's got a really good mid-range.
And
Yep.
he was posting up, too. And that kind of length, I mean, these type of moves remind me of Kevin Durant. He has that kind of length, puts the ball on the floor, gets to his spots on the floor, can finish on the run. Had a sick finish in transition where he pretty much dunked over the whole Pacer team. And it's good to see that three go down. This is how he shoots. There's the finish in transition. I mean, he's a rhythm three-point shooter, a 38% career three-point shooter. So that's really good numbers and percentages and efficiency from that three-point line. And you can see he took great shots, got his points and only took 12 shots. The balance for the Knicks in their starting lineup was outstanding. Jaylen took 19 shots. Everyone else well-balanced. 4 guys and 20 points. That's impressive.
Bridges went 7 of 8 in the second half against Boston, 8 of 12 for the game tonight. Monica, Karl-Anthony Towns, his first home regular season game as a Knick. He was spectacular with 21 points and was also the Knicks' leading rebounder with 15 boards.
I'm not sure what shined brighter, whether it was Karl's performance or his girlfriend's shoes, because the sparkles were sparkling way up in the rafters, okay? He took advantage of his size or matchups against this Indiana Pacers squad. We looked at some of the numbers between he and Miles Turner. They've played 9 games head-to-head. Karl-Anthony Towns does have the advantage, but what I like to see is that when he was being guarded by smaller defenders, he got to the paint. Tyler and I were marveling at his strides and how much ground he covers when he makes up his mind and decides that he's going to the rim. And so this was a terrific performance. We know that so much, as much as you're excited about what Karl-Anthony Towns brings offensively in terms of stretching the floor, he's also going to have to anchor this defense. And I thought he did a pretty good job of doing that tonight, particularly with those rebounds.
Yeah, he did. He's going to have to anchor that defense until Mitchell Robinson comes back. And, you know, here's a hometown kid coming home, getting an opportunity to play in a New York Knicks jersey. And I loved his energy and emotion, what he brought to the floor. That's what the fans love. And it was a great start to his career here at MSG. And I'm sure he's got some more good games to come.
All right, great game all around for the Knicks. 4 starters with at least 20 points, and OG Anunoby had 14. Monica, thanks for joining us as always. We'll see you on Monday night.
Sounds good, guys.